Welcome back. We are covering number 18 of 25 inspirational stories to encourage you in your business journey. I want to encourage you to fight off apathy and discouragement, which is so easy to do when you're out there grinding and trying to make it happen. But I am inspired by you. I'm encouraged by you and want to encourage you to keep fighting. Regardless of where you are, whether you've had past failures, whether you're currently struggling, which a lot of people are in this current health crisis that we're dealing with worldwide. But again, this is not the first time in history that we've dealt with things like this or that people have dealt with failure, right? You're not alone in this. I'm in there this with you. As I mentioned, my two YouTube channels, which is my current attempt at, again, after myself having several failures, I'm back in it. I'm still fighting and I'm fighting with you and I'm trying here to try and encourage you. And, again, right now I have 8 subscribers, picked up 2 more, by the way, for a small biz shout out. And I picked up one new one for free advice from your uncle on my other channel there. I'm at 35 there. So I started free advice from your uncle earlier. So that being said, these stories are meant to encourage you, and I'm here to help pass those along to remind you that the final chapter hasn't been written for you. You can do this. You can keep fighting. You can keep trying. What have you learned? If you're failing right now or have failed in the past, what did you learn? How are you going to apply that to be successful on your next attempt and your next try? So keep your head up, keep fighting. It's okay to also take a break sometimes, right? Yeah, I've done that before. I'm currently working and still trying to make some things happen here. It's okay to take a break, right? Refocus, recenter yourself, and then throw your hat back in the ring, man. You can do this. So today we're covering number 18, Sir Isaac Newton. And so I'll give you a little bit of a history about him. I think everybody knows him and, the caricature of him in terms of the apple falling on his head. And that's how he discovered, gravity. It's not that way, actually, right? I mean, there may be some elements of truth in terms of different thoughts that he may have had, but this guy was brilliant. I mean, just really, really, really brilliant. So he was born on Christmas Day in 1862 in England, and he was born premature. And actually, his father died 3 months before his birth. So, trivial question here for you as well. If anybody asked the question, what was Sir Isaac Newton's father's name? Isaac Newton. So he was actually a junior. Covered already that his father died. His mother remarried, and Newton did not like his stepfather and really disliked his mother for marrying this guy and threatened to burn them and their house to the ground. So he was smart, but he also sounds like he had a little bit of a temper there. So anyway, he went on to live with his grandmother, and that's where he started his education. So but along the way, we know about his education, right? He obviously excelled at education, and I don't want to cover his resume in terms of his education, but I want to cover something that happened to him after he had found some success, right? And I've covered a couple of people that have found success. J.C. Penney was another one, right? Who found success, had to deal with the depression and a bad investment where he basically had to liquidate some of his fortune and his home, one of his homes, and had to basically kind of fight to keep going. So same thing with Newton. He had amassed some fortune over the years with his brilliance. And what was going on during this time before he struggled, there was basically a stock market melt up, which is what we're currently facing right now in our current stock market as well, right? I mean, it's at all-time highs on all the various indexes, but he was experiencing the same thing, right? And same thing with cryptocurrency, but there's a phrase called fear of missing out, or FOMO, or FOMOing, right? And so as Newton was going about his social life, his peers or friends were talking about all the money they were making in the stock market, and you can do the research on your own, but he actually bought in at the peak and then it crashed and he lost a ton. He lost a lot. So again, you're talking about a guy who's mathematically brilliant, right? And known for documenting gravity and other scientific, mechanical, credits to his name, who experienced everything that a lot of people do in terms of investing, right? And you would think that he would be able to kind of, do some research on that and figure out that, hey, this doesn't make sense to buy in at the top of the market, but he didn't. He did what everybody or a lot of people do in terms of, buying in at the top, and then they're left holding the bags is another term that's covered. So again, what I want to cover his successes as well, though, right? I mean, he was still credited with, a very distinguished career in physics, mechanics, and mathematics. and he was knighted. Ultimately, he was knighted by Queen Anne in 1705, right? And so again, it wasn't that he had a failure, but he also found success, right? And all that hard work that he put in his education ultimately found him success when he was knighted. He was only the second scientist to be knighted, and the first one being Sir Francis Bacon. So I'm not going to get into covering him. But again, one of the other things that he's not really is not really talked about, but he was a noted religious philosopher, and spent his later years doing that, and had many works that he wrote that are still being used and studied today. So just another side note there. I mean, the guy was just really brilliant overall. So that's going to do it for this one. And again, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, hit the alert button so you're notified of future posts that I put on YouTube here. And then I'm also going to leave a playlist to this playlist for this series, so you can go and check out that first video I cover, where I cover the plateau of latent potential. I think it's a good one for you to check out before you start getting into all of these, and I really focus on that valley of disappointment. So hang in there, keep fighting, and again, do me that favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the alert, and hit the thumbs up, and we will talk to you at the next video.